you. I don't have to give up this microphone for anybody later, do I? Or just keep on going? It's great to see everybody here and see many, many soulmates out there. I think it's a very great evening, and certainly thank Tom Hansen for all he does to help us out. I think I heard something about the Idaho governor's debates, that we all, I don't know if we enjoyed them or not. They were amusing and sad at the same time, but I want you to know that soon after that, I attended a candidates forum in McCall, and there were 28 candidates at the forum, all at one time. So just picture everybody all lined up here, and it was a great pleasure for me to be sitting right next to Bible Man from the debate. I mean, I got to sit right next to him. But he would not acknowledge my presence. He turned like this, and I kept trying to engage him, and he wouldn't look back. So I don't know if it was the fact that I happened to be a Democrat, a woman, or both. But anyway, it didn't work out for us very well to get together. But just on the other side of Bible Man, there was the gentleman that calls himself pro-life, who is also running for governor, but not as a Republican, so that's why we were spared having him in that mix that night, I think. And then there was also Mrs. Pro-Life, who's running for the legislature, so it was an entertaining evening, but we did not have the gentleman from the basement, so we did miss that. So, you know, some of you are almost as chronologically advanced as I am, and you may remember Jack Kennedy. He was pretty funny, and I recall that one of the things he said soon after he was in the White House was that he was absolutely shocked to find out that things were as bad there as he'd been claiming they were during his campaign. Now, we know that Idaho is not in very good shape, and we could say a lot of things to illustrate that, so I don't think that there will be any chance that I'll be dealing in hyperbole talking about the state of affairs in Idaho. But we can either find the humor in it, as we are tonight, or we would get very sad. So I'm glad we can get together and enjoy the humor a little bit. But next November, you'll have a choice to make. And I'd like to talk about one of them. So let's just hypothetically consider a decision that you're going to have to make. We'll talk about candidate A, who I'll illustrate with my left hand, and candidate F, that I will illustrate with my right hand. And here are some of the differences between those two candidates. Candidate A thinks we should raise the minimum wage. Candidate F disagrees. Candidate A would put more money into early childhood programs such as Head Start. Candidate F disagrees. Now, since somebody told me earlier I had to be brief, I'm not going to go on with all the candidate F things, but candidate A would like single-payer health care. Candidate F would like to see one of the death panels deal with candidate A. Well, I don't know if you can guess by this time who these two candidates might be, but let me say that the first one that can identify candidate F does not have to contribute to the campaign of candidate A. Okay, I don't hear anybody, so I guess everybody has to contribute to the campaign of candidate A. That's too bad, but get out your checkbooks. We're going to just talk briefly about money, and I'm not really going to ask you to take out your checkbooks, but I want you to know that in order to run this campaign, I have been told I need about $1.5 million. Now that's not bad, right? And I'm sure I can get it right together, no problem for me. But I do need a little bit of help because every night I go home and check my messages and I haven't heard from the Koch brothers yet. So that might mean I need other sources. And I've actually retained a business in DC to help me with fundraising, and they make me make phone calls all the time. They say the candidate has to call and beg for money, and it's the only way. And yeah, I'm not finding that to be a lot of fun. Maybe if any of you would think that's fun, let me know because I can use you doing that. But yesterday, well, there are a lot of things that happen as I engage in this. But yesterday during the day, I attempted to get hold of a young man to take some photos for my campaign. And he wasn't in, so I left a message and said, you know, please call me back. I gave him my cell phone number, and that was fine. I hadn't heard from him all day. And then in the evening, I was doing my phone calls. That my business is called Bulldog. I have renamed it a little bit, but Bulldog is what its name is. And so I was making my phone calls, and I called somebody back in North Carolina that I was supposed to convince that they should donate to this campaign in Idaho. That's really easy. Anyway, the gentleman hung up on me not too far into my pitch. And so I was sitting there thinking, did he really mean to hang up on me? Sure or not. And the phone rang. So I picked it up and I said, oh, thanks for calling back. And I pitched, you know, a good reason why this person should donate to my campaign. It turned out it was a photographer calling me back. And he didn't really expect that the first thing I do would be to ask him for money when he returned my call. But that seems like my life anyway. So, you know, we do have a chance to change things in Idaho. And people always think it's impossible. The media always blames Democrats if we can't get candidates to sign up and run. As soon as we do, though, they're the first to point out that we probably can't win. So it's kind of an interesting scenario, but you know, this time I really think we can. Not only this campaign, but some of the others, and you do have some good choices. I think that AJ can beat Butch. I think that can beat Rich, and I hope to heaven that Holly Woodings can beat Lawrence Denny. So right down the ticket, we have better candidates on the Democrat side. We know Ringo can beat Biden. And I think it's absolutely essential that we win because there are a lot of problems in the country right now that need to be set right, and they're very visible, very obvious, and it'd be easy to talk about them. And I'm sure that Roy Zimmerman will help us see the funny side soon. But thanks for